Welcome back to Mountain Connections on this Health and Wellness Thursday. We are going to continue our focus on mental health. And there's a new film called Pink Skies Ahead. It is premiering this weekend. You don't want to miss it. It's on MTV, and it's a part of MTV's new initiative called Mental Health is Health. It's about a young woman who is struggling with her anxiety and much more. I spoke with the writer and director recently. Let's take a look.
A new film shines a light on our nation's mental health struggles through the story of a young woman who could be anyone you know. Best-selling author Kelly Oxford wrote and directed this critically acclaimed film called Pink Skies Ahead. The story is loosely based on Oxford's own mental health struggles, and it's part of MTV's new initiative, Mental Health is Health. Kelly, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I really love this film. Tell me more about Pink Skies Ahead, the plot, and why you decided to write this film.
It's a fun but very, very important story to tell. I wanted to tell the story of being diagnosed with a mental condition and the escapism that often comes with that, of not wanting to deal with it. So the character in the film, feels something's wrong with her, isn't really sure what it is, but keeps going on in her life in a really fun way, and until she can, no longer do it, until her mental condition does catch up with her. And I really think that that's a story that is common with people with mental disorders, especially with the stigmatization of mental health, and I really thought it was an important story to tell, to make people feel less alone.
And I think it's so true that with the stigma and with mental health, many people don't really understand it. And it seems to take this character a bit by surprise that she is struggling with her mental health. Do you think that's a fair characterization?
Yeah, absolutely. It's so funny. I was a very outgoing person. I have lots of friends, but I still have social anxiety. Like, one doesn't negate the other. You can still be a person that can come on, and like today doing all of this press, I can do this and still have anxiety. And I really wanted to show a character that goes through the same thing. I think that's probably the most common way it presents itself for everybody. And to feel one way inside and to present yourself in a different way outside, I think also causes a lot of anxiety, and to not talk about how your insides are feeling causes you great anxiety. So, what I really hope this film does is let people know that they should and they can talk to people they love, and to therapists, whoever they want. They can talk about how their insides feel very different than how people receive them.
And I think that conflict that you mentioned of feeling one way inside and hiding that and acting another way to the outside world to kind of put on this perception of who you want everyone to think you are, and to kind of hide your mental health in a way, is so relatable for many, many people, unfortunately. And you mentioned this is based on your own experiences. Was it hard to be vulnerable in writing this, and were there moments during the film where you had to kind of take a step back because it was hard to see it played out?
No, honestly, I've always been one of those people that, I grew up as such a voracious reader, and I grew up wanting to be a storyteller. And I think that people really do need to write about what they know, because that's the ultimate truth in writing. And I really didn't have much of a problem sharing this part of my story. In the movie, it really is about Winona's journey, and that's what's true to me. There's a lot of fictional subplots in the story which were easy to write, but this main arc of Winona getting not feeling right and getting diagnosed, and eventually having a panic attack, and all of those things were real for me, and I didn't hesitate in telling them at all. Just, for the hope that other people will see themselves and will feel good inside.
And the cast, they just all nail their performances. There's some really big names in this film, and everyone does such a good job with portraying this with respect and understanding. How rewarding was it to work with such an excellent group of individuals?
Oh my God. It was the most rewarding, and every I think that the performances were so wonderful because all of the actors took the job because they felt so connected to the script in one way or another, whether it was a family member that deals with anxiety or they deal with anxiety themselves. And the environment on set was, so safe and so loving that they were able to really dig into these characters and work with each other on such a cool level. Yeah, I was just really fortunate that everybody, connected to the script.
And I think the world needs films that tackle mental illness, mental health in such an honest, relatable way. And I'm grateful for MTV's new initiative, Mental Health is Health. What do you hope audiences will gain from your film? I know you can't dictate that, but is there a message that you really want to get across after people watch?
That there is absolute hope in having a journey that might be quote unquote abnormal or whatever people want to call mental conditions. I mean, society is. I mean, I don't want to get too deep, but society is a construct of man, and some humans are born different, and this construct is really difficult for them. But there are ways to forge your own path, and there are ways to find hope in that, and I really hope the audience sees that in the story and takes that away for themselves.
Pink Skies Ahead premieres this Saturday, May 8th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on MTV. Kelly, I love this film. I'm so glad that you wrote it, and I'm looking forward to everyone being able to see it. And thank you for spending time with us this morning on Park City Television.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it a lot. And thank you for watching the film.